Welcome to Administration Oversight. This is Unit 8 in the training series, Being the Best Community Action Board. The Community Services Block Grant requires a Community Action Board that fully participates in the development, planning, implementation, and evaluation of the program. This is the third of 3 units in which we are looking at the board's responsibility for evaluation. Information Memorandum 82 lists agency administration as one of a board's 9 fiduciary responsibilities. As we did with financial and program oversight, we're going to look at the board's responsibility for administration oversight from the point of view of the 3 challenges that we introduced in Unit 5. What does the board need to know? How does the board obtain that information? And how does the board make sense of that information?
What does the board need to know to fulfill its administration oversight responsibilities? Business practices that create efficiency are signs of good administration. So what do efficient administration business practices look like? One thing they look like is personnel policies that support employees. Competitive pay and fringe benefits attract productive employees and encourage them to stay. Employees flourish in a work environment free from discrimination, favoritism, gossip, sexual harassment, and arbitrary supervision. High-performing employees use support services sparingly. Administrative efficiency comes from facilities and equipment that are well suited to their business purpose. Quality tools of their trade demonstrate respect for employees' skills and expertise. Professional tools are as diverse as computers, age-appropriate teaching materials, safe ladders and power tools, mobile phones, or even high-quality office chairs. Community action agencies have opportunities to occupy offices, classrooms, workshops, and other facilities that have been donated. They may be offered facilities at below market rates. Such facilities could become more expensive to adapt than buying or renting something better suited. Eliminating duplicated equipment, staff, supplies, and services increases administrative efficiency. A small pool of company vehicles would cost less than furnishing a car to every program or manager. Reimbursing employees to use their own cars would be cheaper still. Employing a manager for many facilities could be more cost-effective than contracting for maintenance and repairs. Individual programs do not need their own financial staff. Processing of all financial paperwork should be done by a central fiscal office to ensure consistency.
Community action agencies manage their risk through careful planning. Insurance is the most recognizable form of risk management. A general liability policy secures legal support in dealing with claims against the organization. Officers and directors' policies help pay for legal defense required by actions of board members or executive officers. Safety programs teach employees practices to avoid accidents, injuries, and other damages. Emergency plans lay out steps for employees to take in case of severe weather or disruptive events such as fire. Employees practice emergency steps they need to take during fire or tornado drills. Perhaps the most important administration risk management tool is to not assume that everything is going smoothly. Employees can find and fix small problems when they regularly compare their work to required practices, standards, and desired results. Problems caught early limit damage. Learning what's not working encourages continuous improvement.
How does the board obtain information about administration? Executives and managers are the main source. The board should receive regular reports about key administration activities. The board can also contract with specialized consultants to evaluate their administration practices. CPAs are one such consultant. However, they cannot consult on financial management or other management practices for any of their auditing clients. Other useful experts specialize in topics such as human resources, insurance, or employment law. Other experts design computer networks and match hardware to the software that handles an organization's critical information. Highly qualified and experienced managers and leaders are key to efficient administration. This caliber of employee will insist on continuous improvement. They will keep the board fully informed about what's working well. They will present the board with plans to correct or replace what isn't working well. There are conditions most likely to make that happen. Leaders and managers will be paid well. They will be expected to work hard. Enough money must be committed to fund good salaries and fringe benefits. Support and middle management positions will have to be limited. This commitment to high performance has to be accompanied by investment in training to enhance employees' knowledge and skills. Community action agencies can't all fund highly qualified managers. They can support their managers with strategic use of consulting and training services from experts.
Some administration practices are complicated, and there are many different practices. How does the board make sense of the variety and complexity? The board needs information that it can understand. Agency managers or other experts need to train the board on the requirements in areas as different as labor law, fire prevention, and computer networking. Board members need to understand what administration practices exist to accomplish. They need to understand that some administration practices are legally required. They need to be able to compare their administration practices to best practices that have developed through experience and research. They need to encourage staff to adopt as many best practices as possible. Community Action Board members and key employees should attend all the workshops, trainings, and conferences the organization can afford. State CSBG offices often train on administration policies and procedures they require. State CAA associations hold trainings and workshops on regulations and best practices. Accounting and human resource specialists also conduct training conferences. Many webinars and other resources on administration regulations and practices can be found online. National Community Action Trade Groups have annual training conferences. The Community Action Legal Assistance Program, CAPLAW, specializes in governance and financial management in addition to its legal assistance. CAAs throughout the country belong to the Community Action Partnership. State CSBG offices are members of the National Association of State Community Services programs. All three of these groups hold national conferences. All have websites through which webinars and other video training resources can be found. The National CSBG Training and Technical Assistance website contains links to a wide selection of information and learning opportunities. It also has a directory of consultants and trainers used by agencies throughout the country. The website, virtualcap.org, has hundreds of documents and links on the following organizational practices: management practices, planning and evaluation, human resources, financial management, fundraising. A final thought on the subject of the Community Action Board's oversight responsibilities. When in doubt, ask. Ask, what are you saying? Ask, what does that mean? Ask, why is that important? Ask, what if we keep doing what we're doing? Ask, do we have alternatives? Ask, how much time do we have to decide or act? Ask, how much time do we have before things start to fall apart? And also, remember, the only dumb question is the one not asked.
Thank you for participating in this Being the Best Community Action Board training series. Thank you again for your service on this Community Action Board. Please consult your series manual for materials that can be used for additional board training.